Count us down, folks. Welcome to another festive episode of Missouri
Right.
Swagger.
Festive.
Episode 17. I'm Dennis Hopeless.
And I'm Cullen Bunn. And
Same.
this is our holiday extravaganza. Look at all the decorations in Dennis's house.
I got a tree over there.
We saw the tree last time with the
I
star.
got a bottle of sparkling cider right here.
I like that to decorate. You just put a bottle of Welch's out on the counter.
Hey,
It's Christmas, assholes.
I like to be able to refresh my non-alcoholic friends. There's like 3 bottles of champagne and a bunch of orange juice in the fridge for everyone else.
Hey, that's all you need to have a Christmas party. But, yeah, so it's Christmas. Dennis, right before we started recording, you dropped a truth bomb on me and told me that you hate Christmas.
I don't mean in general. I love Christmas in general.
Tonight, you'll be visited by 3 ghosts.
Yeah, I'm not a Scrooge. I love Christmas. No, this year, because my November was so crazy and I was out of town one of the first 2 weeks of December, I had to do all my Christmas shopping while also on 2 deadlines. And I've got my kids this entire week and a couple of days because I got them Christmas but not New Year's. So I get a week and then she gets a week. And that makes it so I've got no free time. And there's this terrifying thing, that happens around the holidays where all your editors go on vacation. But the deadlines don't go away. So the moment they get back from vacation, which is generally either December 26th or January 2nd, they expect you to have done 12 days worth of work or whatever.
Yeah, no. Christmas in comic book publishing is a strange and horrifying time because, yes, we all need a break. We all need some time away. We want to spend time with our families. We want to celebrate. But man, oh man, those deadlines they are the worst this time of year. And yes, I had a ton of messages. I used 2 or 3 weeks ago. I almost sent an email to all my editors saying, just so you know, I'm not going to be working during the week of whatever this week is. Before the week before Christmas, I'm not working.
Why'd you decide against it?
I had it ready to go. I had all of them fired up, and I said, this probably right now is not a good idea for me to do that because I worried that it would be read as I don't have time to work at all anymore. Like it would kill future projects for me. Not because I was unwilling to work, but because they would think I was too busy to take on new work.
Right.
So I just didn't. I didn't send it. And all this week I have regretted that decision and wished I had sent it.
And we've been supposed to record all week, and neither one of us have been able to find the time because of this problem. It's not really a problem. Being too busy shouldn't be a problem. But
no, it's a good problem, obviously. But my mom's visiting from out of state, and again, as freelancers, I can't just call into work and say I'm taking a week's vacation with pay,
right?
Because that just doesn't work that way. We don't get weeks vacations with pay. So I'm actually trying to balance working as much as I can with spending as much time as I can with my mom, who I don't see that often, and it's the holidays. And so, yeah, I've been working a lot late into the evenings and being super tired. I had several scripts due, and the pilot I've been working on, I got my final rounds of notes, but let's celebrate. It's been sent away. No more notes, at least until the network gives me their notes. So
hooray!
Yes, success.
Yeah, I got so on Darth Vader I get notes from Marvel, like from my editors, and then I get another round of notes from Lucasfilm, which I'm sure you've dealt with on your many Star Wars projects. And the way Dark Visions works, each issue is self-contained, so it's a very different thing, which is a really fun writing exercise, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. But you never know what amount of notes you're going to get because it's hard to know whether they fully grasped what I was talking about in my short plot outlines. But I got the final round of notes back for the first 2 issues, and it was mostly a thumbs up. So that's good. Very happy about that.
Yeah, I just got approved. I can't say what the title is, but I just got officially approved as the writer of this ongoing series that will, I'm sure, be announced sometime after the new year.
Do I know this one?
I think you probably do.
Can I give hints?
No, please don't. Please don't, or that official approval will get flushed right down the official approval toilet. But anyway, just there's a lot of notes at this stage, and I want there to be, because I do want this to be a big launch. I want it to be a big deal.
Is it Popeye?
Dude, I said don't tell people. But anyway, there's just a lot of notes and going back and forth just to make sure we get it right. And yeah, it's, my editor and I have been, putting this together, and then there's the publishers getting it and lots of notes there. So
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's been a little bit
taxing,
dicey. It is taxing. It's not been bad. It's just getting it right. I have in my mind what I want this thing to be, and it's going to take a lot of work to make it that. So I'm happy to do it. It's just a lot of work. Speaking of big announcements, Dennis, you had a big announcement this week. Let's talk about it's Spider-Man, but what's the official title? It has a subtitle, right?
Spider-Man: City of War.
Yeah. So talk about that.
It takes place in the PS4 universe of Spider-Man. So the PS4 game, Spider-Man game,
Marvel Universe number PS4.
And the game's fantastic. I have a PS4 and I own video games. I rarely have time to play video games, and I had been putting off buying the Spider-Man game because it looked so cool. I knew I was going to play it. And I have now played the game and watched hours and hours and hours of cutscenes from the YouTube for the purposes of this. And it is an amazing game. It's fantastic. It reimagines a lot of the characters and relationships in Spider-Man to be like an organic, one organic story sort of that can play out over 90 hours or however long the thing is. We're doing
not to spoil anything. I haven't played the game yet, but not to spoil Christmas. So if my son's watching, I'll keep it vague. But I'll be playing the game pretty soon myself. So like in a few days. I may have purchased a Christmas gift / business expense or business research project for myself for the holidays.
So you're going to love it. But yeah, so we're doing the comic book adaptation, and it's an interesting project because normally when you're adapting something, it's much shorter than what you're doing or roughly the same size as what you're doing. But these games are massive.
Right.
So it'd be like adapting a novel into a movie times 10. And we also want it to be a new experience for people who have played the game.
Right.
What?
Is it a mini-series, ongoing? What's the...
Yeah, this initial thing is a 6-issue mini-series that more or less follows the general plot of the game, but it's all new and, it's like
that's cool.
Adaptation of it. And then what's going to happen is y'all are going to buy just thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of copies of these things, and then I will get to tell more stories in the world of the PS4 Spider-Man. But
right,
so I'm super excited.
Buy thousands of copies. It's the only option. When's that come out? When's that start up?
I want to say it starts up in the spring,
but
I don't know. It may be early summer. I don't know. I don't pay attention to everything. I know what my deadlines are. But no, I've written Spider-Man before, obviously, because I wrote Spider-Woman and various other things. But I've never written capital W written Spider-Man before, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and he's I'm sure I know he's a stressful character to write because he is so iconic. But I meant what I said. I think you're the right guy. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think you're going to do a great job with this. So,
well, I haven't had a quippy character in a minute, and I like writing quips. In fact, Cloak and Dagger was sort of challenging because neither one of those characters really make jokes. So
they're so damn dour because they're just a dour couple of drug addict superheroes.
It's just drug
addict superheroes.
It's a dark story, and I really dug into emotional relationships in it, and I love those scenes. But when there were action scenes where they were just fighting, I'd start to write a joke, and I'd be like, Cloak doesn't make jokes. Tyrone's not out there like spitting one-liners while he's beating up a thing. And yeah, Spider-Man does. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I think you're a great choice for that book. So I'm excited for you.
What do you got announced? I know stuff behind the scenes is going on, but apparently I can't talk about that.
You can't. Did we talk about Punk Mambo? Was that announced when last time we talked? I don't think it was. So I'm doing the Punk Mambo miniseries from Valiant.
Ooh,
Punk Mambo is
the cover's awesome on that book.
Oh yeah, and that's just there's a cover that people haven't seen yet. There are secret covers that haven't been revealed yet that are absolutely. I mean, the one that they did show is the ones they have shown are awesome, but there's some super cool covers that I'm really excited about because one of my favorite artists is doing them. I can't wait for people to see those. But yeah, Punk Mambo is sort of it's Valiant. The way I'm approaching it is she is essentially the Hellblazer of the Valiant universe. She's she's mystical, and she is kind of she's kind of a jackass, and she kicks ass and takes names, and she leaves no prisoners behind. And yeah, she's a young punk who sort of a woman out of time because she has not aged since the 80s, and she can't she's definitely stuck in that punk mentality, but she also has these great responsibilities because of her magical nature and her connection to the mystical world. So it's awesome because it's going to be it's a horror book, it's a superhero book. It's my first Valiant project, so I'm excited about it.
What's your second Valiant project?
We'll see if Punk Mambo does any good. If Punk Mambo does what, to echo what you said earlier, what's going to happen are people are just going to pre-order and buy just thousands and thousands of copies of Punk Mambo.
Yes. And
they're going to turn that into a Punk Mambo ongoing universe, the Punk Mambo universe, and we'll go from there, and we'll see. But yeah, we got to see how things go. If I drop the ball on Punk Mambo, it will be my only Valiant project. But who knows beyond that?
You don't drop balls.
Oh, yes, I do.
Slam dunk them.
Yeah. All right, so you hate Christmas.
I don't hate Christmas. Christmas is stressful. I didn't used to be stressful, but now that I have small children that like to beat each other up and deadlines, it's a different thing. I'm excited for actual Christmas. We're going to go to my mom's house. My sister has been ill and in and out of the hospital.
I'm sorry.
She'll be all right. So it'll be nice to see her in a comfortable setting. And last year I was in California for Christmas. So this will be my first family Christmas in a minute. And
it's going to feel like California here because it's going to be like 60 degrees outside for Christmas.
It is?
It's not going to be Christmas weather. I want snow and Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
I was in Canada last week. I don't need any more snow.
Well,
did we talk about that? I went to Canada.
We haven't talked about it. I saw pictures, I think, because were you presenting at a school or something?
No. Jasmine, my lovely girlfriend, is an editor. She works at Lion Forge. I've talked about that before, probably. I like to brag about my girlfriend. And
does she brag about you?
No, I think she hides me in the closet largely.
I was going to say.
I don't know. She likes my hair. She brags about my hair.
Oh, for God's sakes. I thought the Christmas gift you would give me is one episode of Missouri Swagger without mentioning your hair.
It's in a weird place because I'm growing it out so the sides are so it's sort of doing like a triangle situation. If it weren't for all the cookies I ate last weekend, we'd have more of a sharp edge triangle. Yeah.
When you talk about all the cookies you ate.
Yes.
Is that like for you in the Dennis Hopeless world? Is that like one cookie?
No.
I say I ate a lot of cookies. Someone gave me a tin of cookies from Hy-Vee, and each of these cookies, my friend Kevin Watkins brought them, and each of these cookies, he said, had a stick of butter in them, and they tasted like they had a stick of butter, and they were amazing. And I think I might have eaten half of that tin all by myself.
Well, see, okay, so I would eat, like when my mom would make chocolate chip cookies when I was a child, she would make a batch and I would eat the entire batch, and she'd make another batch and I'd eat half of that, and then I would be told to stop so there'd be more cookies left over. So that's how I eat cookies.
Right.
But cookies are full of butter, and I can't eat butter.
Right.
But when Jazz and I were in Calgary, we were staying with Tyler and Hillary Jenkins, who are a fantastic art team who
Sure.
they work together
Amazing.
on Black Badge right now. Before that, Grass Kings.
Yeah. Tyler's great.
And I believe Hillary and one of their daughters are very allergic to dairy, like anaphylactic shock allergic to dairy. So there's no dairy in their house. And Hillary cooked the cookies. So I could eat all of the sweets that were there, like piled on the table. I could eat all of them. And everybody else was polite. And I'm just like, I got like 6 years worth of cookies to catch up on. I bet I ate 75 cookies.
That's
and then
awesome.
when we left, they gave us a box of cookies, and we weren't going to the same place, and I had more room in my bag. So I had an entire box of these cookies in my bag while I was flying. So I ate, on the way home, I ate all the cookies.
Good for you.
So I bet I gained 7 pounds in the 3 days that I was in Calgary, but it was delicious.
I had lost close to 10 pounds before the holiday season kind of started, and now I've gained all that back. And
you did it with a bowl of bacon, so I mean.
Yeah, but dude, that bacon, that was actually it was good. I took my mom to Branson yesterday.
Why would you punish your mother?
Because my mom likes that kind of stuff. And we went to the landing in Branson. There's a distillery there. What's the name of that?
Took your mother to hell, and you bought her booze.
No, well, I don't think she bought any booze. But we did do the moonshine tasting. You have 16 varieties of moonshine. You can taste them all. You can do a shot of each of these moonshines. So she, did that. And then we took her to Lambert's on the way back from Branson. And have you been to Lambert's, Dennis?
No, I don't know what that is.
Well, next time you're around, you're going to Lambert's with me.
What is it?
So Lambert's is the home of throwed rolls.
I've heard of this for years, but I've never been there.
Yeah, so it's a big country kitchen. And there's dude walking around. Most people from Missouri, I think, know Lambert's. But if you're not from Missouri, it's a crazy place. And if you don't go at the right time, you'll wait for hours to get in there. I mean, it's super busy usually.
Right.
But yeah, so you sit down and there's this dude walking around with a big bucket full of hot rolls, and he just goes, "Who wants a roll?" And he wings them at you from across the room. And you're catching rolls and eating them. And as you're eating, you put paper towels out on your table, and people just come by and say, "Would you like fried okra?" And they just pile fried okra onto your table. And then someone comes by with macaroni and tomatoes, anyone? Which is the one thing I don't eat there. I'm not a big fan of macaroni and tomatoes. And black eyed peas, they just come around and scoop them out to your plate. And you can, I don't know how they imagine anyone could eat everything they give you, because it's insane how much food you get. They come around, this one dude walks around with a cart full of, they call them hubcaps, and they're cinnamon rolls, but they're like that big.
Did you order an entree, or did you just eat?
I did. Well, you have to order it. I think you can go and just eat the side items that people come and scoop onto your table, but you have to pay a smaller fee to do that. But I ordered it was called the Hog Giles JLT like sandwich, and that was that big bowl of bacon that I ate part of. I didn't eat all of that.
I'm surprised to learn you gained a little weight with a healthy diet like that.
I know.
That sounds like my nightmare. That sounds
look, I was very happy with myself. I thought I was doing well, and I kept telling myself, the holidays aren't going to beat me this year. I'm gonna enjoy myself, but I'm gonna do it with intelligently. But no, I didn't. I've been very bad, and I'll try to be better.
The worst thing is that shit breaks your brain. Like, I ate those cookies, and whatever, it's like 3 days of cookies. But then I got home, and my tongue was like, oh, I remember what sugar is like. So the first thing I ate when I got home was a bowl of Cookie Crisp, and followed by a bowl of Lucky Charms. Which they're always up there. My kids eat it all the time, but I haven't touched cereal in probably a year and a half. But no.
No. Once you open those floodgates, it's hard to close them. Because this morning, we went to breakfast with my mom, and I was like, I'm not eating bacon today because I had too much bacon yesterday. So instead, I just order sausage. It's just all this sausage. And I'm like, I can eat all this. It's not bacon.
You only live once, I guess.
Do you, so I was thinking of comics and Christmas, and I dug these out because I wanted to share them with you and see if you probably don't remember. You probably know these, but you don't remember them from your childhood. So remember when comic books and Christmas had such an exciting relationship? This is Christmas with the superheroes. Look at this.
They still do that. Didn't Latour do some sort of Marvel Seasons Beatings thing that just came out?
Oh, I don't know. Marvel just did that X-Men thing, but I didn't know anything else.
Yeah, Latour wrote an entire issue of a holiday book called Seasons Beatings with Deadpool. And they also did the X-Men holiday thing. So they still do this stuff. It's just not that big.
Look at this. This is awesome, though. And look, Superman with Santa Claus, Batman. This is my favorite part. Wonder Woman. These two that I don't know who they are at the back. And Kane from the House of Mysteries.
Here, push it up closer. Let me see the yellow people.
Who are those guys?
Down. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
I can't remember.
The one in the back looks like original Bucky Barnes from Old Captain America, but that's DC.
DC.
So it can't be. Yeah.
And then, look at this. Christmas with Archie.
Oh, God. Well, there they are.
And look, this is my favorite part of the back cover. Visions of Sugar Plums.
Well, that's creepy. Also, the fact that he's got his hand on the butt of the globe is kind of gross.
Well, hey.
He's copping a feel.
But this is my favorite thing. I had some Marvel treasuries too, but I couldn't reach them because my closet's a nightmare. Look at this. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I've heard of him.
Was a star of DC Comics in the 70s. Not only was there a Rudolph treasury, one Rudolph treasury. Wait, there's a second one. Hold on. Don't stop. Rudolph had 3. He's already outlasted any new character DC or Marvel has introduced.
Okay, this is important to me. Show me which one is number 1. Which one? That's number 2. What's number 1?
Where do you see number 2?
In the top corner.
No, that's $2.
Oh, they're not numbered?
I know it's hard to fathom that any comic costs $2, but I think this one might be the first one. This one.
Well, that's what okay, that's what I was going to say. Because when you originally showed them.
No, this one was only $1, so it's the older one.
Yeah, so why in the hell would they make him on skis in the first one and then make on the second one like a traditional.
This may not be the first one. There may be another one. But here's the best part. Besides Rudolph helping Santa climb in, he's in a hot air balloon here. Rudolph does not mess around. Here's the best part. Rudolph Summer Fun. They couldn't get enough Rudolph just for Christmas. They had to do a Rudolph Summer Fun issue where him and his pal, Grover, that's his name. I know this because I used to love when comics had these the headshots down the side with the names. It's Grover. But you couldn't just get enough Rudolph in winter months. You had to have a Summer Fun issue.
Well, Biff, Pow, comics used to be for kids.
I don't know. These are very, these stories might be extremely dark. They might be Cloak and Dagger dark.
I doubt it.
Well, anyway, I just remember, I was thinking of summer or Christmas comics.
I like those.
And how awesome, those were back when I was a kid and you were not alive yet.
I was probably not alive yet, but it's okay. I wasn't alive yet when they made the Rankin Bass Rudolph, but I've seen it.
A bajillion times?
Probably. I don't know. My parents had little patience for animated Christmas stuff, so I saw all of the god-awful made-for-TV live-action movies we'd watch as a family, but I think I only saw The Grinch a couple times when I was a kid, which is funny because my children completely run the television morning, noon, and night. But
well, you were talking about Polar Express, right? So you watched Polar Express.
I did.
Was this your first experience watching Polar Express?
Yeah, and I'm not even familiar with the book. I remember when Polar Express came out, the movie, and I remember people being like, "Oh, I remember that book," and I did not. And much like the Star Wars prequels before it, I'm sure at the time when Polar Express came out, the horrifying plastic-faced creatures that star in that film were the height of CGI.
Actually, I remember when the movie came out and people were still talking about how creepy they were, that they were a little bizarre and creepy.
It's an uncanny valley situation for sure.
Yeah, I don't find them to be an egregious offense. I've seen that movie dozens and dozens and dozens of times. But
the problem is, as CG improves, when you go backwards, it doesn't look impressive at all.
Right.
It looks, whatever. Like I'm watching the first Toy Story, for instance, it's not impressive at all because they have improved the texturing and the skins and stuff so much. And with a movie like this, you look at it and you're like, why can't real Tom Hanks be talking to us right now? Why are we looking at this weird digital Tom? Like, how does that movie benefit by being fully CG? Like, Dead-Eyed Santa could be played by anyone. I mean, Kurt Russell's playing him on Netflix right now. Anybody could be in that suit. But
I watched that Kurt Russell Santa movie too.
How is that?
It's not. I mean, it's fine. It's a Christmas movie. It was a fun couple of hours. Kurt Russell's a great Santa. I think he's a fun take on Santa. So he's absolutely steals the show as Santa. But I mean, I'll watch it again.
Kurt Russell's job is to steal the show. I don't know if you're familiar with the little gym called Captain Ron.
I know Captain Ron. This is the Captain Ron of Christmas movies.
Okay. The weirdest thing about Captain Ron, which never struck me as a child, but I made Jasmine watch it this year, is that for some reason Kurt Russell plays the zany character, and Martin Short plays the straight man.
Yeah.
Like, why would you cast it like that?
Because can you see Martin Short as Captain Ron?
No, but Martin Short just shouldn't be in that movie at all. It's weird that like one of the like zany goofball comedians of a generation is playing like a button-down straight man to Kurt Russell.
What's your favorite Christmas movie? Not counting Love Actually.
Love Actually is the greatest movie ever made.
I know. So that's why you can't count as your favorite Christmas just because you love it. But so without Love Actually, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Fine question. I don't love Christmas movies.
Boy, you're just.
I watched them when I was a kid, and the ones that I go back to, like, I watch with Die Hard with Kyle all the time, but I never thought of that as a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I know it is, and I know.
It takes place in Christmas. Whatever, I don't care. Yeah. But it wasn't like a thing that I did every year or anything. And I like Die Hard because it's Die Hard. Right. I've only seen it once, but I like A Family Stone a lot. Have you seen that?
I've seen Family Stone once, I think, yeah, and I didn't remember it was a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and I watched that like recently. I watched that and I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know. The only Christmas movies I've watched other than Love Actually recently, Jasmine likes to watch these god-awful Hallmark and Lifetime Christmas movies.
Oh my gosh, Cindy watches them nonstop.
I've seen A Christmas Prince, A Christmas Kiss, and they are painful. They're painful films.
Yeah. They're hard. Well, I told Cindy that they all seem to take place in the same universe. I said what I want to envision at least is that all of these Hallmark Christmas movies are all taking place in the same world. This is just every town is the town that either loves Christmas or has forgotten Christmas, and some businessman is always going there to, for some big meeting, and he meets the girl of his dreams who he can't get along with immediately. But
there's one we watched one the other day. I can't remember. It's like A Christmas Inheritance or something.
Right. And
it is about a socialite, like a rich socialite in New York whose parents cut her off because she's about to turn 30 and she hasn't done anything with her life. And
yeah.
The premise of the movie is that she goes and meets a man and like tries to create a relationship with a man who has a daughter in order to prove to her parents whatever. But the premise is so insane and the man she picks is so crazy that it seems like what happens is she has a psychotic break when they cut her off and loses all sense of reality and just starts behaving in a dream world. Because why a Manhattan socialite who grew up with millions of dollars would go after a construction worker who runs a soup kitchen on the side that is failing? They just make so little sense, and there's no chemistry like in the entire film. There is a homeless character in the film who has not set foot indoors in 20 years because the last time he walked into a building, it ruined his life. So he's not going in buildings anymore.
Well, okay.
That's
Yeah,
not
no,
okay.
Cindy loves those, and apparently, I thought it was just my wife that loves these Hallmark movies. They are very popular.
People like them.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I mean, it is funny to like mock the plots of them. But it's like if they made 1,000 Star Wars prequels, and then everybody would sit down and watch like episode 26.
That would be awesome. That actually would be kind of great. You know it. You know that would be awesome.
Kind of. I mean, yeah. I guess they did that with Clone Wars, but it was actually good, so it doesn't fit.
Yeah, Clone Wars is pretty great. Yeah, I was trying to think of my favorite the other day. I don't know what my favorite is. I like A Christmas Story, but it's on so much now that it's hard for me to really like. I remember the first time I watched it when I was young, I was like, "This is what is happening? This movie's amazing." And now it's just a thing now. It's almost like the thing you put on your wall at Christmas and don't think about too much. And I feel a little bad that Christmas Story is not as magical to me as it once was.
See, for whatever reason, I didn't watch that when I was very young, and I watched it in high school and was irritated by it because everybody knew all the words, and I thought,
I don't like anybody that I don't like
people.
Well, I don't like people quoting movies constantly. That's why Monty Python and the Holy Grail, for instance, I can't stand.
It's obnoxious.
Why can't you? Why don't you like Monty Python and the Holy Grail? A hilarious movie, and I'm sure it's just absolutely amazing. It's a wonderful, funny movie, but I can't freaking watch it because everybody who you watch it with is quoting the damn thing constantly.
It's horrifying. And I will say I do that in Love Actually, and I shouldn't, and I stop myself. But most of the people who watch Love Actually with me are either quoting it too, like and love it, or like Kyle Strauman, he tries to show up to the house late enough that Love Actually has already been come and gone because he dislikes it so much.
Yeah. So I think
this is a man who's watched every episode of Murder, She Wrote multiple times, but he can't.
I know. Believe me, I know. He loves that Murder, She Wrote. I think I'm going to go with the George C. Scott Christmas Carol. I think that's
a good one. Oh, that's a good one.
It is good, and he's a great Scrooge.
Yes.
First of all, he's just a great actor, but he's a great Scrooge. And I remember watching that in school, like the week of Christmas. They just put it on to keep us quiet and watch. It has got some really creepy stuff in it. I mean, it's everybody talks about the Ghost of Christmas Future and how creepy he is, but the Ghost of Christmas Present is horrifying. He has 2 children under his cloak, and he's like, "Look!" And there's 2 ghastly, pale, withery children under there clinging to him. And I remember when I watched it in school, I was like, "What is this?" And the boy is ignorance, and the girl is want. But fear the boy the most, for upon his brow is written doom.
When I was in 8th grade, the honors English class I was in, for whatever reason, decided to do a Christmas Carol for the entire school, like to perform it.
Were you the boy that has ignorance written on his head?
I was Jacob Marley. Ask me who I was. In life, I was your partner.
Now you are a bit of undigested beef.
Yes, exactly. But because we were 8th graders, we might have been 7th graders. I think we were 7th graders. Because we were 7th graders, we didn't know how to project our voices, and almost nobody had any acting experience. But the kid who played Scrooge, his dad was big into like Ren Fair, and he'd been acting this whole time. And they got him a lav mic so he could be heard. So he was being projected to the people. And I'm a loudmouth. Like my voice carries, and I don't hear very well. So the only 2 people they could hear were me and the kid that played Scrooge. So when I got done, everyone was like, "That was great. I really liked your part," which was weird because I was Jacob Marley, so it was only on there for a second. But it's because they could fucking hear me. That skill is less useful when you're trying to whisper about people in big college lecture classes, not realizing everyone around you can hear what you're saying. I learned that years later.
I ruined a Christmas play one time when I was in kindergarten.
What did you do?
At our church. I don't even remember. It wasn't a play. It was like a pageant or whatever.
Were you playing Baby Jesus?
No. I was a cherub. but there was a whole group of cherubs, and they were all in white, and we all had halos. And I remember bits and pieces of this very vividly. I remember there was another girl who was like 2 years older than me, and she said that they were all the angels, and they had a bigger say in what was going on in the pageant, but the cherubs didn't have any say in it. And I remember it made me mad that I was not an angel and I was a cherub instead. But I was on the front row while people were singing, you know, whatever, and there was a spotlight right on us. And my friend Emily was right next to us, right next to me. And I remember her face, she kept squinting at the spotlight. It was like it was blinding her. And our cherub costumes had these big, long, drapey arms. So I kept holding my drapey arm up in front of her face because, cherub or not, I'm chivalrous. I was holding my arm up, and I kept yelling. Because Trey-la-di-da. I kept yelling at the lady who was running the spotlight. Turn that light off! Right in the middle of the play. It was awesome. It was very popular. Very popular with the angels. Mm-hmm. Actually, very popular with cherubs. Not so much with the angels.
Where's your friend today? What's she do?
No clue. No clue, man.
He's in North Carolina, South Carolina.
You lose touch with people, dude.
What Carolina were you from? North, South?
North.
North. Right.
All the cherubs fly off in their many different directions. It's a sad part of life.
She's watching this now.
She might be.
Thank you.
She probably doesn't remember that.
We'd like to hear from you. How would you forget?
No, we don't want to hear from her. that would actually be kind of fun, though. Yeah. But yeah, I remember holding my arm. Cut that light out.
Awesome.
But yeah, but no, Christmas Carol, amazing movie, especially with George. I like all Christmas carols. I like Scrooged a lot, but I even like the Henry Winkler one.
Nobody likes the Henry Winkler one. Don't pretend.
I kind of liked it. I haven't watched it.
I hate the Muppets, so I don't like the Muppet one that everybody likes so much.
Oh, you know what? I like the Muppet Show, but I was never a fan of any of the Muppet movies.
I don't. My high school girlfriend was an obsessive.
Muppet.
Like she was a super fan of things.
She was a Muppet.
And so she ruined so many things. Like the Smashing Pumpkins. Like I've seen Smashing Pumpkins so many times. I stood in line for 36 hours to see them in October in Lawrence. And I hate the Smashing Pumpkins. I hate the Muppets. And it's not her fault. It's just that I got like
every episode of the Muppet Show.
She probably could have, but yeah, it was just overkill at the time. It's not her fault. It ruined it for me. I guess it is her fault, but she didn't do it on purpose.
Blame her. It's the Christmas season.
I had an answer for your damn question. Oh, Ernest Saves Christmas is the best Christmas movie.
Oh, that's a great movie. I love Ernest Saves Christmas. Cindy doesn't like it now, though.
What?
Because Cindy had never seen Ernest Saves Christmas. And in all the many years I've known her, every Christmas I sing "Oh Christmas Tree" the way Ernest sings "Oh Christmas Tree," which is she just says, "Oh Christmas tree, oh 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 Christmas tree," and he just sings that over and over. And I've done that forever. And Cindy just thought it was just some quirk of me, that it's something I did. Right. And then I think 2 years ago I put Ernest Saves Christmas on, and that scene comes on, and she looks at me and she's like, "You got that from Ernest?" And she's not. She no longer appreciates my Christmas tree song, nor Ernest Saves Christmas.
Well, that's fair enough.
I saw Ernest Goes to Camp in the theater, by the way, so I'm a big Ernest.
I was too young for that. I definitely saw Ernest Goes to Jail, and
Ernest Scared Stupid.
I want to say I didn't see Ernest Scared Stupid for some reason, but the other one that came out around that Goes to Jail, I think Slam Dunk Ernest was the first straight to video. I'm not sure. Ernest Scared Stupid is a fantastic Halloween movie. We should have talked about that on Halloween.
We should have. We should just watch it. We should just run it and watch it together.
We should. We were not on the same page for the Halloween episode, so next year that's what we'll do. We'll watch a movie.
We're going to get better. This is the end of our 2018 season.
Yes, it's true.
Unless we do a New Year's Eve episode.
Well, we can do that. I'll be in California.
What is it with you and the traveling, dude? Come on.
Jasmine's from California.
I understand, but gosh, the traveling.
Tell me about it. You don't have to pay for it.
I hate traveling.
I like traveling.
The way you hate Christmas, I hate traveling.
Well, I don't. Fair enough. Um,
Well, safe travels. I don't know if we'll be able to record while you're in California.
we can. We'll try. We've
All
recorded
right, whatever.
on location. We should have recorded in Calgary. I could have shown you the cookies.
You could have. I could have shown. Well, I don't have any of the cookies that I had. They're all gone. I ate them all. We had a Christmas party and did like you were invited, obviously, but you were
I
in
know you told me.
Canada. But I got a Viking drinking horn.
I saw that.
Pretty awesome.
What'd you drink out of it?
Hurricane.
That's good.
I guess that's what Vikings. If they don't have mead,
Mead is disgusting. So if you had said mead, I would have gone on a rant about gross meat. Nobody
anyway,
wants
drink a Hurricane.
honey wine. So we need a swagger story.
We do, but before we do that, one more Christmas question.
What?
Do you have a fondest Christmas memory, like a Christmas you got a present that you really wanted?
My mom does really well. Like my mother, when she shops for Christmas, she just buys everything on everyone's list.
Right.
And then if the rest of us are like, well, what does Elisa want? She'll be like, well, here's what I bought. What do you want to buy from me? Like, she just takes care of it all super early.
And she sells it at a huge upcharge.
No, I mean, so unless I have like a great idea for someone, my mother already has everything they've ever wanted.
Right.
So we did not have a lot of money when I was a kid, but my mom went out of her way to make Christmas good. So I got had a lot of great things. And then at some point, my father decided to get me a go-kart. And by get me a go-kart, I mean spend the next 6 years purchasing me parts for a in-production go-kart.
Nice.
Finished the year I turned 16. And so I rode it around once and then sold it to pay for part of my car. Like, I never got to play with it because when you're 16, you just want a car. You don't want a go-kart.
You had a car. It was called a go-kart. You could pick up your dates. Let's go, honey. Just take off. Those things were rapid, man.
Yeah, it was an awesome go-kart, but it was the worst present for 5 years, and then it was just money, a down payment.
Every year you get another.
It was, or tools. He would buy me tools. I didn't work on cars. I didn't have any desire to build anything, but he was slowly building a Snap-on toolbox for me that when my parents got divorced, my mother got. So I have all of my Christmas presents from my father for like 11 to 15 are in a toolbox in my mom's house.
I think it's a great idea. I think he was trying to teach you some valuable lessons.
I think my father thought I wasn't masculine enough and was trying to force it on me. So I think what's happened.
And all of our followers.
I'm plenty masculine.
You are.
My level of masculinity fits better in 2018 than it did in 1992 or whatever, though, for sure. I wanted to learn how to sew. I really like Halloween. My mom and I would make these elaborate costumes together. And when I was 10 or 11, I really wanted to learn how to sew. And my father put the kibosh on that fast.
Oh, that's too bad.
He did not think that little boys needed to sew. It worked out all right, Dad.
All right.
So yeah, swagger story. You want swagger? Well, what's yours? You tell me yours.
When I was, I don't know how old I was. I mean, I had every Christmas as a kid was really great for me. I feel like my parents always did amazing on Christmas, and they always did everything they could to get me, as much of what I wanted as I could get. I remember visiting my grandmother's house one time. We used to spend Christmas at my grandmother's house in Georgia, and I can picture the layout of the house and everything. And I remember going into the room where the Christmas tree was, and it just felt like there was just an army of Mego superhero action figures. Like every Mego superhero action figure there had ever been was all just out before me. Now, probably it was more like 6, but it maybe not. I mean, I remember thinking, this is all of them. It's every Mego that's ever been. I got all the superheroes. Right. And that was that's the one I vividly remember them, like I was just amazed by Christmas that year. That was something awesome. So it's all about.
Sounds awesome. See, I was too young for those. So I only saw those in like garage sales and stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah, it felt like they got me every one of them. And maybe they did. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did. It felt like there was every Mego that was out currently, like every superhero, even Conan. I remember Conan was there in the mix. So it was it's in Lone Ranger. So Lone Ranger was beating the crap out of Captain America. It might have been the same year. I know I also got a Grover doll at my grandmother's house for Christmas, like a big floppy Grover from Sesame Street.
Oh, that's
And
good.
and that day on Christmas Day, my dad took me to see King Kong, the Dino De Laurentiis King Kong, and I was so excited to go see King Kong that I spent the morning having Grover climb up onto the couch, and then I would violently throw him down as he fell to his death.
King Kong style. Well, that sounds like a great Christmas.
They were.
Well,
All right, let me have a swagger story. It's your turn.
I just realized you asked me a question earlier and then we got off.
Oh.
The reason we went to Calgary is because
Yeah.
Tyler works at an art institute up there and teaches like basically the senior level. I think it's like a portfolio class of some sort. But it's like a storytelling class. And Jasmine had given some advice to one of his promising students, and the faculty decided to bring her up there. So she gave a speech, and then I got to be on a panel with Tyler and Curtis Wiebe and Jasmine answering questions from these art students. It was really fun. She did a fantastic job. But also, these art students are amazing. Like, their portfolios were incredible.
Let's go steal them from every other writer who wants to.
Yeah, there were a couple of them where, like, yeah, Jasmine was like, "Can I just hire you? Like, how fast are you?" Like, my advice is work for me, because yeah, they're really good. So I don't remember what the name of the college is, but whatever art school there is in Calgary, at least one of the class of students was absolutely fantastic.
No, that's awesome.
Okay, so swagger story. This one is by request. Kyle Strom, who is in that photo that we talked about last episode or whenever that was, said that he was very disappointed that I did not tell the story of what happened late that night. So I'm going to tell that story.
Let's hear it.
So this was in Joplin, Missouri, before the tornado, I believe.
It was.
And everybody got a lot of hot wings. We did a comic convention that we ate a lot of hot wings, and then everybody got super drunk, myself included. And I have a tendency, when I drink too much, to drink very fast and be the drunkest one at the beginning of the party. That's my MO, especially back then. So I passed out relatively early. Like, I remember laughing about people saying the vaginits monologues and then falling asleep. And then late that night, I remember waking up peckish because it was probably 3 or 4 in the morning, and everybody's asleep. And B. Clay Moore, who he does his own YouTube channel. I don't remember what it's called, but he wants to be on ours. He wants to do so at some point we'll have Clay on. But Clay was lying on a couch and snoring like an ogre character might snore from Labyrinth, or like a Jim Henson ogre, just like loud snoring, and his whole body is moving up and down. He's laying there. So I get up and walk around, get a glass of water, and I'm hungry. Kyle's still up, and he's hungry as well. But we did not drive there. We didn't have a car. We rode down with I think we rode down with Kevin, and Kevin was elsewhere. Couldn't find him. But Clay was lying right there, and we could see that his keys were hanging out of his pocket. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, very likely still over the legal limit, we reach into this man's key pocket and pull the keys out, and we steal his SUV and drive to McDonald's. We bought ourselves food and drive home. And on the drive home, Kyle and I had a conversation about, knowing Clay's personality, we were going to get back, and he was going to be standing in the dark in the carport like Marv from Sin City, ready to slit our throats. And we would have nothing to say because we just stole his fucking car. So yeah, we laughed about that for years. We never told him. We just put the keys on the table.
I was going to say, is this the first Clay is hearing this?
No, because when Kyle mentioned it the other day, in 2018, I texted him and said, "Do you remember the time Kyle and I stole your car?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I explained it to him. And I asked him if I could tell the story. And he's like, "Yeah, I didn't know that happened." So yeah, he was not awake or aware of this, but we did drunkenly steal a friend's car and this was before they even had all day breakfast. So it was for cheeseburgers or some shit in the middle of the night.
Cheeseburgers at McDonald's are good, first of all.
I used to like them. When I stopped eating refined sugar, the buns at McDonald's are too sweet. But I'll eat them.
When you're on a diet, you can't. But man, there's something about a Big Mac at McDonald's. It's the best to me.
I've never had a Big Mac.
Let's fix that.
No, it's because I don't like. When I was a kid, I didn't like weird sauces.
Wow.
So I didn't like Thousand Island, and I hate lettuce, and it had shredded lettuce. So if I had ordered it without that, it just would have been a weird double cheeseburger with a bun in the middle.
It has
never had a Whopper
patty,
either.
special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on
On
a
sesame seed bun. I know that. You know why I know that song?
Why?
Can you see it?
Bum, bum, bum. That's a great ornament. I love it.
You deserve a break today at McDonald's.
Where did you get that?
I don't know. I've had it forever.
That's awesome. All right, so Dennis, that's a great story. Thank you for sharing it. I wish that Clay did not know that story until this moment. That would have been the best.
I felt like I couldn't talk about stealing someone's car unless I had their permission, or he
Have
would
you
have
ever
found out.
stolen anything from me that I don't
On
remember?
purpose.
Thank goodness.
I have a bad habit of picking things up absentmindedly and pocketing them. In college, when I lived in the dorms, I would move things from room to room accidentally because I'd be fidgeting with somebody's pocket knife or whatever, and I'd sit it down elsewhere.
I have a bad habit of kleptomania.
When I never keep the things, but I'll oftentimes pick them up in one place and put them down in another.
All right. Well, Dennis, where can people find you online besides Missouri Swagger?
Dennis Hopeless Comics on Instagram, Hopeless Dent on Twitter, because I didn't know I was going to have a career whenever I created my Twitter. And then here.
Yep.
Really, that's about it.
And you can find me at Cullen Bunn on Twitter. Also, if you're listening on Nerd Legion, my wife Cindy and I have started a new podcast called The Bungalow, where you get to hear about our lives and how wonderful and disastrous it is. So please check that out if you would like to.
How many episodes in are you?
We've only done 2 episodes. 2 episodes have been published. So
if you lap this, I'm going to be very angry with you.
Well, Cindy is driving force of this. She is.
She also lives with you, so it's easy.
She's very, and yes, and we can just sit right on the couch over there and record.
Well, why don't we make Cindy the executive producer of Missouri Swagger and have her responsible for the scheduling of
it? She would love that because she would love to boss us
around.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
All right. Well, listen, everybody. Thank you so much. If we don't record another one in 2018, because we're going to try, though. I'd love to do a New Year's episode, but if we don't record another one, thank you so much for listening so far, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, safe travels if you're traveling. If you're going to travel, you can listen to this episode or any of the Missouri Swagger episodes as you're traveling.
And then should.
You should.
All right, folks. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everybody.